What's going on, everybody? Your boy Seth here to talk to you about Pokémon Presents. Now, Pokémon Presents was announced for Wednesday, August 3rd at 6 a.m. Pacific time. That's 9 a.m. Eastern time, and that's too early Seth time. But I wanted to talk for a few minutes about maybe some predictions, some things that I think maybe we'll see there, some of the things I would like to see, and just kind of talk a little bit about Pokémon Presents, if I may. So the initial tweet, the reveal tweet of this Pokémon Presents says that it's going to involve updates on games and apps. I think it says Pokemon apps and video games, including Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which is like the most general statement of all time. I don't think anybody's surprised to hear that. But what could that mean? I think apps. Apps is really curious here. There was a while ago, I want to say like maybe 5-6 months ago, there was like a leak or a data mine that maybe Pokemon Sleep is finally coming to fruition after like years of, well, being asleep. Pokemon Sleep seems to finally kind of be in the, final stages, maybe that's coming. That would certainly fall into that app category. I think in terms of apps, we could also probably expect to see, the standard updates to things like Pokemon Go, the Pokemon Masters, I think it is. Is Pokemon Unite technically an app now? I think it's on phones, right? I'm not a Pokemon Unite player, full disclosure, but I think that could maybe fall in line with the app. I wouldn't be surprised, Pokemon Cafe, I wouldn't be surprised to see any of these, or all of these, but I do think maybe it's time for Pokemon Sleep, if they are still planning on rolling that out. If it's coming this year, I think it's probably time for Pokemon Sleep to get sort of rolled out and talked about for, really the first time. So I think that's probably pretty likely to see at this thing. I saw some people kind of speculating maybe that there would be Pokemon Legends Arceus DLC, and I don't know, man. My take on that is a little bit weird. I think that I was kind of on the Pokemon Legends Arceus DLC train for a little while, especially after, Pokemon Sword and Shield had like great DLC. At least I thought it was great with the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra, and it kind of seemed like, okay, we're in like a DLC era with Pokemon or whatever. But the more time is removed from Pokemon Legends Arceus, the more I sort of feel like that game is done. I would love to see DLC. I actually really enjoyed Pokemon Legends Arceus way more than I thought I would. So it would actually be kind of cool to see DLC. I just don't know if I expect it anymore. If you had asked me when the game came out, I would have been like, yeah, in like the next 6 months, there's going to be DLC. It'd be cool. But I also don't know how much. I mean, at this point, guys, like when this Pokemon Presents comes out, that's again August 3rd on Wednesday. We're not going to be that far removed from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Just a few months and change, really, from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So does it mix the message a little bit to put out Pokemon Legends Arceus DLC so close to Scarlet and Violet? I don't know. It's possible that they view them as two completely separate products that can like coexist together or whatever, and maybe they'll continue supporting Pokemon Legends Arceus. I don't know. I personally, if I had to put money on it, I don't really expect it. I think Pokemon Legends Arceus is for all intents and purposes done, and had our experience, cool, we're on to the next thing. You know what I mean? But we'll certainly see what happens on that front. Two big things I want to talk about here. So what's happening with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, again, we know we're going to see some information on this. What is there really left to show? What do we still need to know, right? To my knowledge, and again, I don't want to talk about leaks and rumors and stuff like this. I know things like this have been floating around on the internet, but I think it is probably time to get an official confirmation of the region name. I think it's probably time to really kind of roll out whatever this game's gimmick is, right? The Pokemon games, especially in the modern era, all have some kind of gimmick, like Gigantamax or VMAX or whatever. There's usually some kind of big gimmick gameplay-wise with the Pokemon games, and I do expect Pokemon Scarlet and Violet to have one, and we still don't really know what that is. Again, there have been all these leaks and rumors and whatnot online, but we have no official confirmation of what any of that is. So I think it would make a lot of sense to finally get a little bit of a rollout on that. Another big thing, and a big question mark for me personally, if you go back and watch my Pokemon, my previous live reaction to the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet trailer, the last one we got, co-op was such a blip. Like, that's a massive deal. To have 4-player online co-op in a Pokemon game is a massive, massive deal. And I feel like we really kind of glossed over that with the initial announcement. Again, if you go back and watch that video that I did, I literally missed it. Like, in my initial watch, I was like, I completely glossed over it. And I feel like we didn't really get a whole lot of information about it. I think it's time. I think we need to learn what that means. How exactly does co-op work? What's the scope of it? Can I play through the story with my friends, or is it just going to be we're going to be free roaming, catching Pokemon together? Can we all exist in the same like open map? There's a lot of question marks. There's a lot of gray area with co-op in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and that's, I think, something that they sort of owe to the audience to explain more. I think that's a big question mark. I think we could see some of the standard stuff. Maybe we'll see some new gym leaders. We have a lot of reason to believe that, like, you know, standard gym leaders and gym battles and things like that are coming. We'll probably see some new Pokemon, right? I mean, you know, it makes sense to roll out a new one of these trailers and show us some new Pokemon. So I think all of that is safe. But again, the big thing that I want fleshed out is co-op, and again, maybe the game's big like gameplay gimmick. This game's version of the Gigantamax, VMAX, whatever. But let's talk for a brief second about something that I really think and I really hope, and I predict this like every Pokemon Presents, and I wind up putting on my clown makeup, and don't worry, I got my clown makeup, you know, within arm's reach, because who knows what's going to happen. But if I've said it once, I'll say it a million times. They want me to forget. The Pokemon Company wants me to forget that they said that they are bringing Detective Pikachu to the Nintendo Switch, and I will never forget that. Seth never forgets. I sit here clutching my Detective Pikachu, my chonky Pikachu amiibo, clutching it like a totem, hoping for this announcement every time there's a Pokemon Presents. Guys, Detective Pikachu on the 3DS is supremely underrated. It's really, really good. Just a great, like, adventure mystery game. And, you know, the movie was successful and everything like that, but they said, like, years ago now, that Detective Pikachu is coming to Switch. I don't know if that means a sequel. I don't know if that means we're gonna, like, up-res and repackage the 3DS version and make it work on the Switch. I don't care what it is. It's time for Detective Pikachu to come to the Switch. It's time to reintroduce kind of the audience to Detective Pikachu. I feel like we have waited long enough, and again, it's such a good game, and I think it deserves kind of that second chance at life on Switch. And so that's another big hope for me. Every time I go into one of these, I'm like, please, give me a reason to bust out the chonky boy. Give me a reason to bust him out. He needs to be used. He begs to be used. I would love nothing more than for people to kind of see the light with Detective Pikachu. I have sung that game's praises so much. But anyway, so that's my big hopes, all right? Pokemon Sleep, I think, very likely coming. We got that data mine. Reason to believe that Pokemon Sleep is maybe in the final phases. You're going to get the standard updates for things like Go, Cafe, Unite, Masters, blah, blah, blah. We're going to get that, I'm sure. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I think, you know, we're due some kind of, like, update, some kind of new, what's the gimmick? How does co-op work? Detective Pikachu, I'm hoping for. Pokemon Legends Arceus DLC, maybe. If I'm being, like, crazy, if I'm being really crazy, all right, and I'm just going to leave you guys with this, because this is probably never going to happen, but we just recently got on NSO Pokemon Puzzle League, all right? It would be really cool in the sort of new Pokemon Snap way. What if we got like new Pokemon Puzzle League. Like if we got a Nintendo Switch version of Pokemon Puzzle League that was modernized and had like online multiplayer, and that would be really sick. And that's just like a me thing. Like Pokemon Puzzle League for Nintendo 64 like still totally holds up if you have it on NSO. Still totally holds up and actually has like way more content in there than you expect. Is low-key one of the best games on the NSO expansion pack, the N64 app. So it'd be really cool to see them kind of go back to the well a little bit. And that's a cheap thing to make, I feel like. A cheap like spin-off for Pokemon to make. So that's my out there prediction. So anyway, those are my thoughts on Pokemon Presents. We don't have long to wait. We're going to be live reacting to it, of course, on twitch.tv/allinpodcast. Links to that are in the description. If you want to yell at me or yell at us on Twitter, links to that are in the description as well. If you want to talk about Pokemon in our Discord, links to that are always in these video descriptions. And look, comment below and let me know what you're hoping to see from Pokemon Presents. And we'll look. If we go down, we'll all go down together. We'll see what happens, y'all. Cross your fingers with me for Detective Pikachu. Keep me in your thoughts for Detective Pikachu. And yeah, until next time, y'all. Bye.